So episode 100 of Dragon Ball Super is finally here, and I thought this was a pretty damn cool episode, but before we talk about that, I want to let you guys know that I'm going to be making some more Spider-Man content on this channel. What will that content be, you ask? It will be a three-way comparison video pitting the Raimi Spider-Man movie, the Mark Webb Spider-Man movie, and the Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, because the name of the director escapes me right now. We'll be pitting all three of those together in a comparison video comparing how the Spider-Mans, the comic book accuracy, the story, the supporting characters, all that good stuff. I'll be comparing them, and that video should be out relatively soon. I've seen all the movies, I've watched all of them, so that I'm good on that. The only thing is I gotta record the video, and then I want to edit it. You know, I want to put a lot of editing into it, so that could take an extra day. So yeah, it'll come out relatively soon, but I'm not going to give it a date, because you know how I can be with videos. So with that out of the way, let's talk about Dragon Ball Super. Like I said, I thought this was a pretty cool episode. I'll get my negatives out of the way. Number one, I didn't like 18 berating Krillin the way she did. I thought that was kind of a bitch move, especially since he saved her from falling out of the ring, took a dude on by himself, and helped her take out a dude that almost took her out. That was kind of a bitch move. Like, that was pretty, I don't want to say out of character, it was just, that was a bitch thing to do. But that's like a nitpick. My second criticism, and I think this is a bigger criticism, at least for me personally, the Yardrat guy. The Yardrat guy getting eliminated by Khalifa, potentially. We don't know for sure. We didn't see his face get blacked out on the God Pad or whatever, so we don't know that he's been eliminated. He could have just been knocked away into the dust. He could have almost fallen off and instant transmissioned back in. We don't know if he's been eliminated yet, but if he has, that's a huge negative for me, because the potential that character had for showing off more Yardratian techniques, you know, why even bring him in? Why even bring in a Yardrat? Why bring in a race we've already seen? Why put him in Universe 2? Why is he in Universe 2? I don't know. Like, I just don't really get why they did that. I don't know, it's just really weird. Like, it's just really weird that they included, again, if he's eliminated, it's really weird that they included a Yardratian, and they didn't want to show off any of his other techniques. He only used instant transmission over and over against Goku. Khalifa knocks him out of the ring. What was the point? Wasted potential. I really don't like that. Again, if he's eliminated. So I'll have to give you guys a fucking trademarked petplatypus. We'll have to wait and see. But moving on from that, we have a lot of really cool stuff in this episode. There's one more thing you could consider a negative, but I'm going to save it because it has to do with Berserker Kale. There's some really cool moments in this episode. We got Hit taking out the robot dude with his time freeze, saving Khalifa from getting eliminated with his time freeze. Really, really badass. Kaba coming in, eliminating two guys, and then going Super Saiyan and telling Vegeta it's time for you to get eliminated. That was really fucking cool. Goku versus Khalifa and the conversation they had beforehand was really cool. I like that Goku is hardly even trying against her, but she's just having a ton of fun. He's having fun. The choreography's cool. The animation is solid enough for what it is. I mean, I do want to point out when I get to the technical aspects that this episode was animated by 2 people, and the majority of it was by one guy. That's insane, considering how the episode looks. I'm not saying it's fantastically animated, but it's a pretty damn good-looking episode considering one guy and, like, one other dude did, like, one scene with Berserker Kale, and that's it. Like, really impressive. But going back to Goku versus Khalifa, I like the conversation they have where he's like, you should be aiming for Super Saiyan 2, because she does actually go buff. She actually uses the trunk form. That's what I call it, is, like, Trunk, because he's really slow. Like, me and my friends would joke playing Tenkaichi 3 because of how slow they made the character. We would say he's like the Incredible Trunk instead of the Incredible Hulk, which, I know the Hulk is fast, but still, like, just the fact that he gets all buff, and he's, like, slow like a caveman and shit. It was just us being teenagers and being stupid, but, Super Saiyan Grade 3, and she gets all buff, and it's too slow, which we already know, and Goku tells her that. He says you should aim for Super Saiyan 2, and then she does it, she pulls it off. She says she had a hard time getting it after the first time she did it, so that's interesting. That does balance her a little bit more, not by much, because she does manage to pull it off here in this episode, but yeah, it balances her a bit, but yeah, it's, she's still pretty fucking strong, considering. Like, I'm sure she's done a lot of training in her life and everything, but how fast she got Super Saiyan 2, I could see that being an ass pull, and I'm glad that they tried to balance it at least a little bit by saying that she hasn't been able to do it as well since. But then Goku says that you could go Super Saiyan 3, and she's like, what the fuck, there's a 3? So, yeah, that was a really fun conversation, and then we get Berserker Kale. Now, the episode up to this point, before she transforms, I think has been great. Goku versus Khalifa, I thought was great. Kale getting her ass beat by those two guys, that was fun to watch. Kind of hard to watch, too, because it was pretty brutal, but it was fun. The animation was good. You know, I was engaged in the episode. Hit being a badass, Kaba being a badass, Vegeta versus Bota Magetta or whatever. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff in this episode. And then Kale transforms. And I'm not saying the episode goes downhill from here, but once Kale transforms, she just goes fucking apeshit on Goku. Like, Son Goku was spoken in this episode, I think, more times than the entire rest of the series. Like, she said Son Goku a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it got a little bit annoying. I'm not, like, it got a little bit annoying. I know it's like the Broly, the Kakarot thing, and I will always say Kale is better than Broly, simply because of the fact that she is a supporting character, not the character that needs to carry an entire movie as the villain. Let alone 3 fucking movies, you know what I mean? Like, she's a supporting character. I don't mind if she's simplistic in her fucking design from a character standpoint. Like, not her appearance. Her appearance is fucking Broly when she's transformed, but, like, her design from a characterization standpoint, I don't care if she's simplistic. She's a supporting character. But she does say Son Goku a lot. Gets a little annoying. Her fighting Goku was animated by, I forget the first name, but their last name is Nikaido, and they've been working on Super forever. I don't know why, like, just recently, in, like, the last, I don't want to say last few episodes, but in this arc in particular, they have just been, like, on fire. Like, Nikaido has been doing really good work in Super lately. She, I don't know who it is, that's why I'm saying they. They handled a bit of the God of Destruction sparring match, which looked really fucking great. They handled a little bit of, oh, what's his name? The Beerus-looking dude from the Pride Troopers, Dispo. They handled a little bit of him versus that tentacle monster, which looked really nice. And they also did this. They did Kale versus fucking Goku getting slammed around and shit and dodging ki blasts. And it was really cool. I like the moment where people are comparing it to, like, the Loki and the Hulk from the Avengers, where she just slams Goku around and he's like a smear. I thought that was really cool, really fun animation. Then Goku goes Super Saiyan Blue, and here's the big, you know, light a fire under everyone's asses that cares about power levels moment. She tanks a Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha, grabs Goku, seems to have some reaction to the Kamehameha, like she does kinda, like she kinda like hunches over a bit, there's smoke coming off of her, and then she tosses Goku away, and then she explodes with energy again. So I think the Kamehameha did do a little bit to her, at least, because Piccolo says she's losing control of her energy, but that wouldn't explain why she would throw Goku away. Like, she's trying to fucking fight Goku. But I think Goku's attack did a bit of damage, and that's why she kind of tossed him away and kind of just freaked out and exploded with power. But yeah, that's the big thing that everyone is getting pissed up and is up in arms about. And what do I think? I think there's a couple possibilities about this. I think, one, either they really wanted to make the reference to the Broly movie, and they wanted to make it as quote-unquote cool as possible by having him be Super Saiyan Blue when it happens, and they didn't care about, you know, the power scaling at all, or Super Saiyan Berserk is God tier. And I don't think that's unreasonable. I will say that it's forced. I will say that just Kale randomly having a Super Saiyan form that is that strong is forced, but I mean, then you consider Super Saiyan Rage with Trunks, and it's like, well, there are other transformations that get at least close to, if not as strong as Super Saiyan Blue, so maybe, you know, maybe Super Saiyan Berserk is in that God tier, and Goku was like, okay, I'm a Super Saiyan Blue now, she's strong, but half power of Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha should be enough, not enough, and then he obviously she tanks it and grabs him. Like I said, I don't think it's unreasonable for this transformation to be that strong. Again, Super Saiyan Rage was that strong. I just think it's a little unreasonable that it's just this shy, timid character that just happens to have this form. Like, Trunks has Super Saiyan Rage, but it has a little bit of blue in it, you know? It might be God-related. They still need to fucking explain that. But it might be God-related, and then it's, you know, it's a form that he got after, you know, a lot of training and getting Super Saiyan 1 and 2, and then he exploded with Rage, and he got this form. Kale, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, Kale just, she buffs up, she looks like Broly, and she's God tier, potentially, and that's, yeah, it's a little forced, I'm not gonna lie. But, you know, I've already told you guys, I can be critical of it, I can point it out in my review, I can criticize it, but at the end of the day, Dragon Ball ended 20 years ago, and this is just supplementary material that you could ignore if you really wanted to. You really just need to read the manga or watch the anime. I recommend the manga / Kai, But, yeah, you know, it's, like, yeah, I'll point out that it's dumb or whatever, but I just kind of take Super with a grain of salt to a certain extent. Like, it's entertaining, it's fun, it's Dragon Ball, but at the end of the day, when it does stupid shit, I don't sweat it too much, I'm just here for the ride. After that somewhat questionable moment, though, the episode goes back to being pretty damn cool. Kale freaks out, she gets really mad, this pillar rises up from underneath her, she explodes with energy, beams everywhere, she takes out at least one guy, which is kind of weird, but she takes out at least one guy, the guy that was beating her up earlier. And that's pretty much it. She knocks debris everywhere, and there's rubble everywhere in the stage, but she doesn't, like, eliminate anyone else, as far as we know. And then Jiren's like, alright, bitch is getting out of control. Like, her yelling is strong enough to, like, shake the stage and cause, like, the rocks to shift. So, yeah, she's fucking powerful. Like, I think it's undeniable, actually. Like, I was saying she could potentially be God tier, like, Super Saiyan God tier. Undeniable. She has to be. There's no way she could do that to a stage made of such durable metal if she wasn't that fucking strong. Okay, so never mind. Yeah, Goku, Super Saiyan, the blue Kamehameha, fine. That's no problem there, actually. If he was holding back, which we know he was, fine. There's actually, I don't have any issue with that. Plus, if you consider the fact that Goku's going to have to fight Jiren pretty soon, if he fights on par with Jiren at all in Super Saiyan Blue, then obviously he must have been holding back a significant amount of power against Kale, or else it would make no sense, because Jiren one-shots the bitch. Ki blast, knocks her in the air. He actually gets ready to fire another one, it looks like, but then he's like, nope, that was enough, it's over, and he turns around. Big-ass explosion, really fucking cool, really badass. I love the hype they're giving this guy. I just hope they don't overhype him and make him too strong and have it be bullshit that Goku beats him, even if he does get this new form on this poster that we got, which is a badass fucking poster, and I want to see how they handle this quote-unquote new form or whatever Goku's going to do. I'm really curious how they're going to handle it, and I really hope it's badass. And the battle damage, dude. The battle damage better be in the show. That better not be a bullshit tease that's not going to be in the show. I want to see that battle damage. We haven't seen battle damage like that in Dragon Ball in so long. With all that being said, though, there's really not much else to say. The music in the episode was good. As I said, the animation quality was solid for being handled by one guy, Yoshitaka Yashima. Art quality gets rough here and there. That's his style because he has to work so fast, you know, and he has to get these episodes done by himself primarily. You know, you could expect the artwork to slip a little bit. And it slips more here than in previous episodes, probably just because of the sheer amount of animation he had to do here. As far as story progression goes, I think there was about 4 eliminations. There was a dude that was beating up Kale, the sumo guy that Khalifa eliminated with a badass suplex, the 2 guys Kaba eliminated. Oh no, 5, because Hit took out the fucking robot guy. So 5 eliminations, pretty damn good, pretty good progress there. I don't know how many people are left, I'm not going to do that math right now, but yeah, it was a solid episode. It was really good, honestly. I really enjoyed the fighting, the choreography, some of the camera shaking was kind of... They did this thing with the camera shaking where it was like... it wasn't... I don't know, it was cool because it made it feel like there was more motion going on screen than there actually was, which isn't really that praiseworthy, but it helps when you have one guy animating almost the entire episode, and really want to give props and really want to give respect to Yoshitaka Yashima for doing that. Like, yes, Nikaido did the, I was going to say Broly, the Kale versus Goku scene, Super Saiyan 2 Goku, and it looked great, but the fact that Yashima did the rest of the episode, I mean, that's just, like, you can't see it, it's an audio review, but claps, like, serious props to the guy, that's really impressive. But anyway, with all of that being said, I'm going to give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was a good to very good episode of Dragon Ball Super. I really don't have too many complaints in this tournament so far. It's really solid. Just hope the Yardrat guy, like, I really hope we haven't seen the last of him. But, what do you guys think of this episode of Dragon Ball Super? Go ahead and tell me in the comments section below. Give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, or if you like what you've seen here. Click that little bell to get notifications when my videos go up. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.